We don't have to hit the warning.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Great, folks. Hope you're having a great pre-Saturday Christmas. We got 1 week to go, but it's almost here. Be back after these messages, folks. Thank you, Aaron. And welcome back to the Easy Sports Talk Show. You know, like sometimes you get the show started off, and like, man, I can tell it's going to be a good music day. I can already tell. You got to go on, man. This segment right here is brought to you by
Milano Music, family owned and operated for over 75 years, over 50,000 square foot showroom and repair facility, 18 instrument rental depots across the valley. Visit MilanoMusic.com. That's MILANO music.com, or call them at 480-827-1111.
So, Cardinals had a little bit of a disappointing outing last week on Monday. I think we both expected a different outcome.
For sure.
But those come and go. End up losing to the Rams 30-23.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they were ever really – they were in the game in this because they started off very well. But once the Rams took momentum and kind of got on the top side, I know we went into halftime tied, but it always felt like the Rams had control of that game last week. That was a little disappointing. We're going to get into some of our thoughts on the coaching and individual play. First, Murray, 32 for 49, which I don't like the number right there, 49.
49 attempts,
383 yards, no touchdowns, sacked 4 times, 2 interceptions was where we get into. The 2 interceptions, one of them, the very first one, in the red zone at the time, we're up 3-0. Rams had stalled on their first drive. We get our first field goal to start them off. Going down in the red zone. very least you want to walk away 6-0, but you want to walk away 3-0 with a bad
Because
interception.
you're thinking that we're going to at least come away with 3 points.
Something. And for me, and we talked about this on the Believe in Arizona Cardinals podcast the other day.
Go to Believe.com and then search for, go to Easy Sports Talk and then click on the Believe in the Arizona Cardinals tab.
Yeah, there you go. And it was one of those situations where it was so early in the game, but it still, for me, felt like a turning point where the Rams that got that interception. We'll talk about that interception specifically a little bit, too.
Okay.
They got that interception. They go down. They score 7. Then we're playing catch up, and every time we catch up, they take another leap forward, and we had another interception. In the third quarter, after they scored, we throw another interception. They go down. Now they go up.
And we hadn't had those early on in the season. We had, and then we had talked about this only on this show and in the Believe in the Arizona Cardinals podcast about some of those ill-timed interceptions that, thankfully, at that point in time, because they went undefeated for a while, that didn't come back to bite them, and that came back to bite them in this past game.
It did. That second interception, after he threw it, they go down and score again. They're up 27-13. And from there, it was one uphill battles, climbs, which we almost got back into it because, we had some situations late in the game where we done something different here, but, and we also had the onside kick recovery. We'll get into all that. But for me, the game plan was very disappointing. I didn't like the game plan at all. Kingsbury, it was almost like he reverted back to old Kingsbury.
Okay, so you think maybe he outsmarted himself in terms
outsmarted himself, and then sometimes – we had that victory against them early in the season, week 4, whatever it was. We go out there and we beat them. So he slayed the dragon, right?
Right.
But you had to face the dragon again. Yeah. And, just because you beat him once, maybe they'll seem, I don't know, the nervousness or whatever, because something about him matching up with McVay. Okay. It almost seems like he's, like you said, either overthinks it or he's not quite as confident in his game plan and himself. I thought when they came in, initially, like the first couple drives, good, and then they just abandoned the run.
Yeah.
And everything became pass. And then the other thing, as a head coach, you have to make decisions, right? These fourth downs and different things, if this was a test, he failed with a D- in terms of when to go for it. Okay. And then when you go for it, what play to run. Situationally, late in the game, had an opportunity, and even on the broadcast, they were talking about you should kick the field goal here now. Do you need a field goal and a touchdown? Anyway,
you needed it anyway.
Save yourself some time so you can. He was just all the way. We always joke about the shaking papers on the sideline. Yeah. I felt like his papers were shaking a whole lot.
I think there's a lot to be said about that. When you talk about the right play, if you're going to go for it, if you're that type of coach, then when the numbers say it or whatever it is that decide to go for it on fourth down, fine. But have a play in mind to be able to try to execute based upon the situation at that time. Yeah. And that's if it's 4th and 2, 4th and 1, 4th and 3, but what's going on. Yeah. I think when the number that really sticks out, as you mentioned, the 49 pass attempts for Kyler Murray, that's not something that you want, because what does that show? That's so lopsided. That's so lopsided. Yeah. Let's let the clock run a little bit. Let's not be afraid to be able to manage the game in such a way that you're keeping the other team's offense off the field.
I'll throw another stat out here. 22 rushes by the Cardinals, right? 7 of them were by Murray, and I guarantee you at least 4, 5, or 6, or maybe even 7 of those were scrambles. They weren't designed runs. So you take that 7 away from the 22, you mean you only call. Right? Sometimes I know there's a lot of audibles and things you check out and stuff like that. Yeah. But technically speaking, 15 run plays, like the 7 that Murray scrambled on, you really can't count those because those weren't what you call plays you came out of the huddle like we're going to run the ball. Right. So it was so lopsided to me. And, it was just, like I said, I don't know whether he really overthought it. He didn't, quite,
it didn't quite curl. But then, what about with for example, with that Panthers game? Remember when we talked about that, where it just seems that they were out of sorts from the beginning? Yeah. So maybe it was, again, maybe he was overthinking when he went into the Panther game, and here overthinking as well. Instead of this, we had the conversation about Belichick last week, right? Yeah. In terms of how the genius in doing the simple. Let's just do the simple and let's come out of here with the W, as opposed to trying to see how much you can have an aerial assault.
For me, this was, we talked about this throughout the year, it was one of those questionable games we've talked about, because they've been rolling and everything's going good, it's easy just to say, man, he's really got it,
Yeah.
This was that pressure game that I was talking about where, you're equally matched on the other side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Teams, both, what I would consider really good teams in this league, it sometimes does come down to coaching. And what the scary part of it is, as we move forward, obviously we're one game away from clinching a playoff spot, right? But then once you get into the playoffs, it's the second season where you lose, you go home. Every coach, for the most part, I mean, some teams are going to squeak in at the bottom of the, some of these bad records in the NFC, they'll sneak in it, whatever they are, 8-9, 9-8, whatever.
Yeah.
But you get past that first round, you're talking, okay, next we got to play Tampa Bay, or we got to play Green Bay. We got, and these teams are well coached, well prepared. I'm just a little worried. That sign of Kingsbury is like almost like I just okay, let me give it to you.
Yeah.
You're in a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was some infidelity early, right?
Mm-hmm.
They came back. And we figured things out. But now I'm starting to see signs again. I was starting to worry. I'm starting to see signs like, wait a minute. All of a sudden, they're going to go to the gym, putting the smell good on and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, meetings all of a sudden taking longer.
Right.
They're getting on late. I saw that was a sign for me. I'm like, oh, God, I hope we're not getting back toward that.
Okay, so you bring up something that's interesting. So let's go into it this way. So you mentioned some of these higher pressure situations that Kingsbury has been in. So if we look at, for example, the first game of the season, so how many of these high pressure games do you think that he's had? Because maybe the first game of the season against the Titans, so maybe try to get off on the right foot. Would that be a pressure game?
Not to me.
Okay. The 49er game, that would have been a pressure game.
Somewhat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with both of those 49er games been pressure games?
Did we face Garoppolo both times or no?
No, just once.
Just once. Yeah.
So one of those.
And when I'm talking, when I'm talking pressure, I'm talking Monday night spotlight on.
Gotcha.
Regular season games, a lot of those get lost in the fact that everybody's playing. And when you remember, we get to the playoffs, you and one other game won that day, all eyes on me for the most part. When I'm talking pressure,
would that first Rams game be? Would that have been a pressure?
That was a show me game. Yeah, I wouldn't call it pressure. I would call that was a show me game. Whereas they've been beating up on us forever. Yeah, and we finally get over this hump.
Gotcha. So we'll say that's one win on that side of the journal or the ledger. Would that Browns game have been one? No. Okay. The Packers game would have been one, right?
Packers definitely.
So that's 1-1, and then you're talking about if another game with the high pressure was the second game against the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying 1 and 2 in those pressure.
Basically, and as we roll, because obviously you get a little reprieve. You're playing the Lions this week, which we'll talk about next segment. The key is obviously we got to get into the dance.
Right.
But once you're in the dance, man, you gotta go. I mean, you gotta go find somebody to put the moves on.
Right.
And that's when the pressure starts. It's one thing being home, getting dressed in front of the mirror. You get to the day, talking to all your boys and everything. You kind of do it. Right? Then you get there and you're sitting on the bench watching everybody, get their groove on. I want to see Kingsbury step up.
Right.
And part of it is getting this team back on track. Obviously, you don't want to go to Detroit and dribble down your leg. Yeah. You want to make sure you're going to handle this one with the reward of we win this one, we're in the dance, we know that. Now we're fighting for seeding and who knows, maybe even a number one seed. We pretty much we hurt ourselves there. With the loss already to Green Bay, now we're tied with them. We've already slid into the 3 hole. Now we got you got Tampa in front of us and Green Bay.
Right.
So it was just
somebody was going to step on Aaron Rodgers' foot.
Ain't no wrong with his foot.
He's just trying to milk it for everything it's worth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and just real quick, minute and a half. Defense did a decent job. They held the Rams running game and checked. Sony Michel, 79 yards on 22 runs. They ran the ball just enough to make us respect it. And then you saw what happened, some play action, boom, they go deep. And that's their specialty, I think. I think that's what they do best. So, we're sitting at 9 or 10-3 now. We got Detroit coming up. We're going to talk about that game next.
It's funny. I've mentioned this, and this is the case when you're in that upper tier. The
Mhm.
margins are so thin that you lose one game, and when you were riding high before,
Oh yeah,
and then you lose just one game, and you start to question yourself.
doubt. Yeah.
Because what was it? I think you had mentioned when you look back at the end of the season, if they don't get that number one spot, then they'll probably look at what was it, the Panther game is that one
Mhm.
that got
That
away.
one that got away. Yeah. So we're gonna take this break. Appreciate you hanging out with Easy and Jay on the Easy Sports Talk Show. KDUS 1060 AM as well as KSLX HD channel 200.7 coming to you live from the Phoenix studio today. Getting it in with Aaron right behind the glass.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
be back after these messages, folks. Hope you're having a great week before Christmas.
You can.
Thank you. Why you?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Easy Sports Talk Show. Hope you're having a great Saturday so far. Good start to your weekend. Getting that Christmas shopping in. You got less than 6 days, folks. You better hurry up and get it done.
Attention!
This segment right here is brought to you by
Majestic Services. Contact Majestic Services to do all the dirty work around your home or business. Majestic Services will pressure wash your driveways, awnings, pool decks, sidewalks, receiving docks, and more. Call Majestic Services at 602-614-9401 or go to majesticservices.net for your free no obligation quote today.
Yes, sir. So Thursday night football kicked off with Chiefs and Chargers. And just real quick, talk about that game. That was, I don't know if you had a chance to watch it. That was a game. That was.
I saw I came in towards the end of it.
34-28 overtime win by the Chiefs. Everybody who wrote the Chiefs off early in the year, and they had been struggling, but they now won 7 in a row, and they look good.
Yeah.
And the Chargers look just as good in defeat. They're
feel-
on their way.
How do you feel about the coach for the Chargers going for it on those 4 downs instead of taking some of those?
I almost mentioned that you while we were talking about Kingsbury.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be a little too stubborn in your analytical thoughts, and sometimes it's okay to get 3. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you win that game, you go ahead and just kick a couple of those field goals.
Yeah.
And I think after, I think he went for it 5 times on 4th down. It was 5
I
times.
know he passed up
Yeah,
3
he was
field goal
2
opportunities for sure.
It was 2 for 5, right?
Yeah.
Hey, bro, sometimes it's okay to get that 3. And I think after a while, because he was, somebody tells you can't do something, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to show you.
Watch me.
That was his mentality, and I think it cost him a game. Because he was like, I'm going for it. No hesitation, no nothing. A couple times I'm like, where's the field goal kicker, bro? Come on.
Yeah.
I know the field goal kickers over there, look, man, I'm going to make my money. So, but that was a really good game. Both of those teams are going to be something. Chargers, Herbert.
Walk-off touchdown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Herbert is the truth.
Is he the truth?
He's the truth.
Okay, because it seems like they're trying to annoy
Yes,
him.
sir.
They try to annoy certain
Yeah. So before we get into our game against the Lions, we didn't talk about it because we wanted to lead into the segment with it, but big bad news, bro. We end up losing at the end of the Rams game. We end up losing DeAndre Hopkins. It looked like just a tweak knee at first, but he is now going to be down a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks. We're going to look at the face. You're like, man. We talked about this on the Believe podcast the other day. He's down a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks with a torn MCL, had surgery, or is having surgery. They're saying 4 to 6 weeks. I'm saying, I don't know about that one.
A torn MCL. Did you hear yourself?
Torn MCL.
Somebody's selling, 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
What, so I can go back out and do my gardening? Or are you talking about to play a football game, man?
That seems really unrealistic. 4 to 6 weeks.
So 6 weeks comes and he's not playing. What is the fan base going to say, and the pressure and then the questions from the media? That I think it's that type of reign. I think it's unfair. I think it's irresponsible.
Yeah. Now you brought something up the other day. Do you think it's a organizational approach, or
they're all in, right?
Yeah.
They're all in. We're trying to win this year, so 6 weeks. So he could be back in 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks.
We know the deal here. He's only 4 weeks left in the season, so he's already been declared. He's done for the regular season.
Right.
If we have to get him, if we're going to get him back, it's in 6 weeks according to the word, right?
Right.
People have no idea. And anybody out there who's torn a ligament in their knee or anything, there's one thing. We talked about this the other day. It's one thing to get surgery and then get healthy enough so that you can go to work and walk to your car. And, it's another thing to have this type of surgery. And I actually talked about this the other day. Mm-hmm. I ruptured my MCL in 1996. I'm not sure the grade of his tear or whatever, but I ruptured mine back in 96. Yeah, 96. Mm-hmm. And just to get back, I didn't have surgery because surgery was going to take a minimum of 3 months, so 3 or 4 months. Right. What I did, I took the approach my team, because I had no choice. I was fighting, trying to get into the league. I was over in the world that didn't happen. Yeah. They flew me back to Birmingham. I actually, for 4 weeks, didn't have surgery. I opted not to have surgery because they told me it'd be about 3 months or so. But I was like, that's my season plus. I'm done. On 4 games into my attempt to try to make this switch to football. So I did the approach where 6 days a week, I rehab twice a day. Sundays only once a day, to build up enough scar tissue to to take the place of the MCL so they could try to get him back on the field. I was able to do it. The rest is history on that. But my moral of the story is when they told me surgery, like I said, it was 3 to 4 months. Now this man is having surgery, and you're saying 4 to 6 weeks. I'm not a doctor. I mean, I have slept in the holiday.
And then advances in medicine and such, but still, I think it's still. I had whatever. I had an issue with my MCL. This was decades ago, but I remember not because I used to play basketball all the time, and so I heard it playing a game of football. But the point is that it took once my knee felt better, to have confidence.
Oh God, yeah,
was different. So I didn't want to do those moves that I was doing before, try to drive to the basket. So all I'm saying is this: when you have a high-level athlete such as DeAndre Hopkins, at what point will he be comfortable or confident with making those leaps, and making those jumps, and doing the things that he can do to be able to positively impact a game?
And for anybody who doesn't know, the MCL, the ligament that goes down the side of your leg, is the one that if your leg is hyperextended inward, that's when it pops, or you get the tear. Mine ruptured, right? One piece here, one piece there. But that's the one that keeps the knee from just popping right on out, right? So even once I started rehabbing and stuff like that, you talk about comfort, right? I was going upstairs one day. This is while I was still in Birmingham rehab. I started to feel a little better walking, and wasn't able to do much other than that. But I got to the top step, stuck that left leg on the top step, and turned and rotated. And that doggone whatever the knee socket came through that scar tissue and popped back in. And this was just walking upstairs. So I caution everybody who's thinking that DeAndre is going to be back. And the other thing you got to remember today, he's going to be on a shelf for weeks. No conditioning, no nothing. You can't ask this man to come back. And
they will though.
Step on
they will though. You good?
Let's talk about this long-term, short-term. How does this affect the Cardinals? Moving forward, game plans, team game planning against us, et cetera, et cetera. I think
long-term, I think it is where there would be more of an impact, because when you start to go up against some of those teams that are more talented, that's when they'll really be able to key in and take away, let's say, an AJ Green or et cetera. Whereas having DeAndre Hopkins on the field, it's well documented in terms of Hopkins' numbers being down, his touchdown numbers, being up there, but still, because if nothing else, he's a highly paid decoy. Because everybody's looking over here. Okay, well, I'll throw it to Christian Kirk. I'll throw it to AJ Green, and being able to take advantage. And even with Connor being able to catch the ball out of the backfield. But in short term, it might not have as much of an impact, but long term, I think.
I do all these podcasts all through the year, right? And everybody's always like, what's wrong with Chandler Jones? And, because his numbers are down, right? He had 5 sacks the first game. Everybody thought he was going to have 85 sacks for the season, right? Like, when you're getting double and triple team, that's part of the game plan. He is taking.
But if it was me, if I would do it for free, and you would double team me, and I would go off.
And I bring that up because it's the same thing with DeAndre Hopkins. Every week, teams go into a game plan defensively. Their first thing they do. I've been in the meeting room when this is our focus right here. This is the dude we gotta stop. We can't let him beat us. If they're gonna do it, he's not gonna be the one. So they put coverage over the top. They will interrupt his routes early, do all this different stuff. Now, minus DeAndre Hopkins, it's like finding extra money, man. Like you did some laundry and you're going to your plate like, oh. That you were like, I'm spending this on something. I said, put this what? Not too long ago, I found an old, like an IRA or something that I had some. I was like, what's that? And I went and checked. I was like, there's some money in that account. I already started thinking, I was like, So, well, maybe I'll hold on. I don't know the extra tax implications, but the same thing with these teams. They're like, all of a sudden, they're like, you know what? We don't have to double or triple DeAndre. Let's pay a little more attention to AJ Green. Let's put another man in the box to stop the running game. Let's put a spy on Kyler Murray.
But and I know we're coming up on time here, but
talk about next period.
But didn't the 3 games or so that Hopkins
was out,
didn't they go through it?
Different formula because Kyler wasn't there. Remember,
right?
We got Kyler back in now. That was even an extra thing to worry about. with him being out along with Kyler for those 3 games, it was successful, but I also think it was like a little bit of different game plan because your game planning
Because it was Colt
against Colt McCoy. And so now, I guess things are going to be a little different. What we're going to do, we'll take this break, come back, talk about this matchup specifically with the Lions. And quite honestly, they're 1-11-1. I don't think there's a whole lot to dive into. The Cardinals right now started out as a 14 game.
I hate these games though, man.
I know.
hate
They started out as a 14-point spread, down to 12.5 now because of DeAndre Hopkins, I think. Still, this is one we need to go get. We'll talk about that when we come back. Appreciate you hanging out. Easy today on the Easy Sports Talk Show, KDUS 1060 AM, as well as KSLX HD Channel 200.7. I want to thank all our people on Facebook that are checking us out. I see all the messages. We got a restream, our YouTube going on, got a lot of things. We'll be jumping into 2022, and so make sure you hang out with us. Be back after these messages, folks.
You get.
That's like you jumped in my playlist or something, man. Golly. Wow, this segment right here is brought to you by
Casual Sports Radio Network, KSRNAZ.com is your destination for the latest updates and in-depth coverage of your Arizona sports teams, including all things Arizona Cardinals for the Bird Gang fan base. Visit KSRNAZ.com for feature articles, great podcasts such as the Repurposing of Easy Sports Talk Show and the Believe in the Arizona Cardinals podcast, Microphone Masters, Disposable Arts, and more.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, so we're going to talk a little bit about this Lions matchup here, but I had a question that popped into my head and want to get your thoughts on it. Thought-provoking questions, I think.
Okay.
First off, let's talk about the match real quick. We got 1-11 team going out to visit. This is one of those games on paper you are supposed to win. Every game in the NFL is a battle. So the Lions are costing everybody. At least, if you're any of you Cardinals players listening to Kingsbury, the Lions are going to throw everything at you but the kicks and sink. They went after the Rams earlier in the season, 2 fake punts, like within the first 2 or 3 possessions. They might go 4th and 10 from their own 1 yard. We just don't know.
Yeah.
This is one of those games, they got nothing to lose. I will say this once. I did 2 podcasts for the Lions this week. I encourage them because they are playing hard for Dan Campbell. When Dan Campbell did his first press conference, talking about biting kneecaps and all that kind of stuff, I was like, that is a clown, right?
Right.
I've actually grown to have a lot more respect for him because whatever he's doing within that locker room, I know he's taking over some play calling with some of those guys back east or back in the trip. Like, we don't really necessarily agree with that, but they are playing hard for this dude.
Right.
And they're in just about every game. They've had a couple flops, but think about it. They almost beat the Ravens minus a 66-yard field goal to lose.
Right.
So they've lost games in different ways. But Cardinals do not go in there lightly because this is not going to be easy.
Yeah, and that's what scares me. When you're playing teams where their records, where the record is one thing, but the way in which they play, the intensity with which they play, the focus that they come into a game with, they just don't. Right now, they're not there yet. Maybe next season they'll have that jump or whatever it is. But I just worry about teams coming in and saying, "We got this."
I think that's what happened to Carolina.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a straight up dub after we went out to San Fran.
Yeah.
And did what we did to them. And it was like, okay, Kyler, we sit down. We're going to take care of that. And they just got alley-walked by Carolina down.
Yes.
So we'll see. We'll give our prediction on this game after a minute or 2 here. But my question to you is,
yes,
look at what happened last year with the Suns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Start off the season, they're like, we'd be happy for 4, 5, 6 seed, And it was one of those things where they continued to just go through the season. It was like, well, maybe they are free. They just kept hanging around.
Yes.
Number 1 seed, as the season progressed, so did expectations of the fans.
Most definitely.
They grow. Right? So now, think about it. At the beginning of the year, you and I had them at 8 and 9 total wins. 8. They have 10 now. So where they get, it could end up being a 14-3, 13-4, whatever it is, right? Now those expectations are so very high.
Yes, indeed.
So as a fan, are you setting yourself up for disappointment because now just getting into the playoffs, is that satisfactory? What if we lose in the first round or a wild card or this or that? Where do you stand on, what is their ceiling? What would be disappointing at this point?
The disappointment would be 1 and out.
Yeah.
Because right now, they're in the playoffs, and outside of a monumental collapse, they're going to make the playoffs. So I think you would want them to at least win 1 game. So at least win 1 game. Give me 1.
I think okay.
Although I did put
objective
the chips on them going to the Super Bowl.
You did, okay. Okay. You're objective though. You're not thinking like a fan.
Right.
What are most fans?
Oh, fans are saying if we don't win the Super Bowl, then this is it's because it's the what is it? As you mentioned, the floor, the ceiling. So the floor would be if
at the beginning of the season, if we'd have said they're going to make the playoffs, we'd be like, oh my God, that's an incredible leap.
Right.
And even if they lost in the first round, at least they're making progress.
I think the expectation was. Yeah, I thought the ceiling was playoffs, just making the playoffs for me. And, of course, being seriously wrong with that, where that was concerned. But I think as a fan now, I think that you want them, the minimum expectation is for them to get to the conference finals.
All right, let's go to it. We got Aaron behind the glass. Aaron, what are your thoughts on, the expectation now, would it be, how disappointing would it be if they got in and just got a win, or if they don't go all the way to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think having getting into the playoffs and losing once, one and out would be the worst case scenario. I think anytime, no matter how good a team is, getting to the Super Bowl is very, very hard. And so I think that expectation, of course, you want that to happen, but I think that expectation should be tempered a little bit. So I think the worst case scenario for sure is the one and out.
And a lot of, because obviously they are getting close to getting to the playoffs. A lot of people are already running to the, to get the playoff tickets. Like, we're on this magical run, which is good. But like I said, for instance, if Nika had just a thought that this year he's gonna give me that special ring that I want, right? So I'm just saying, whatever that special. And you came home with just some flowers and candy, but she had made up her mind already because you've been giving her signs and everything. And all of a sudden, you come home with that box of candy and flowers, and she's like, "Is there something in that box? Some chocolate?" And I'm just kind of getting him, I'm like, well, it is almost like I said, the fans, and rightfully so, because it's almost like coming from the ground up.
Yeah,
and you get excited.
Yeah,
I get excited when I go in the house and smell something good.
Aaron, I know that especially you do some writing, covering the Suns with some different things. Were you around the facility around the Suns with the Cardinals this week at all?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
And what's the feeling in terms of, especially with DeAndre Hopkins being out, and I think so it's just us three right now. You know what I'm saying? It was irresponsible for them to start talking about Larry Fitzgerald coming back, right? That was irresponsible, right?
That's a whole, that could be its own conversation. To think about all the players
Yeah.
The other part of that too, Aaron, is they think if you're crying for Larry Fitzgerald to come back and take the place of DeAndre Hopkins, that means you think he has ability like DeAndre Hopkins. All respect to Larry. Larry has become like a slot guy, almost like a small tight end nowadays. He doesn't have speed. He can cover the middle of the field, but this dude ain't running past anybody.
Nah.
So for me, it was almost like a mismatched part. Larry.
Let's say Larry does come back, he's not filling in Hopkins playing.
Exactly. I would ask anybody out there who's doubling Larry Fitzgerald at this time.
And I think it was more media and fan generated than anything else. I doubt that the Cardinals were saying, you know what, we could use. But as Aaron said, and I think it's appropriate, it's you sitting there and you the next one up, and they look and they out there looking. Who can we find? Well, I'm right here, man. I'm next up. No, we want somebody else. No, I'm right here. I'm not somebody else. No, we want somebody else.
Anybody got Larry's number in their phone? Hey, anybody, what's this mean? Hey, give me your phone. Hey, real quick, it didn't happen, so we got to make a pick for this game.
Yeah.
Pick for the game. What you got?
I was gonna say Payne, but I think it might be more I think it's going to be closer than you would like it to be. I think it's going to be another one of those 7-point games. I think there's going to be a couple of Kyler Murray interceptions in this game.
You think so? I think this is one of those games where, like I said, Lions come out and Cardinals win. I think Lions come out and just they might try anything. So we got to be on the lookout. I do think we have more talent. There are 1-11-1.
Yeah,
I do think we come away with a victory. I'm hoping a 10-point victory, like a 30-10 would be good, but I don't want to come close. You never know what can happen. Aaron, real quick, what you got?
Cardinals for sure. I think it will end up becoming a little. I think this towards the end of the game will make it look like it's a blowout. But I think it'll be a relatively close game.
All right, we all got
good
Cardinals, and with that victory, they would seal a playoff spot. There are 8 other scenarios as well, but you'd rather get in on your own merit. So,
Yeah.
hey, appreciate you hanging out with us. 1 hour down. Can't believe it. Already going by. We're going to take this break from here, but appreciate you hanging out. Easy and Jay on the Easy Sports Talk Show. KDUS 1060 AM, as well as KSLX AC Channel 200.7, Facebook restream. And just a reminder, folks, this is the last one for the year. We'll be back in the first week of, the 8th of January. So hold tight. We'll be back after these messages. Hope you have a great weekend so far.
Hold tight. Boom. You can.
Yeah. And welcome back to hour 2 of the Easy Sports Talk Show. Appreciate you hanging out with us here in the KUS 1060 AM studio. This segment right here is brought to you by
Colt Artisan Beverage Company, the official beverage company of the Easy Sports Talk Show. One of the first to launch nitrogen-infused coffee. They offer everything from specialty coffee to a botanical infusion line of caffeine and sugar-free brewed beverages. Call Colt Artisan Beverage Company at 623-434-0939 or visit ilovecolt.com for more information.
Yes, sir. And before we jump in, we kind of concluded the hour of Cardinals talk. Just to give everybody a heads up before, we are going to be on a Christmas, New Year's break over the next couple weeks. While we are away, Cardinals will host the Colts on Christmas Day, which is next Saturday. And then they go to the Cowboys on the 2nd of January. So they got a little bit of I wouldn't say a gauntlet to go through, but
yeah, it's definitely going to be challenging.
Because Colts are fighting for their playoff life right now. I think they're sitting 6th in their conference, 6 or 7 in their conference. And I also know obviously what the Cowboys are trying to do over there. So
yeah.
Suns basketball, they just continue to roll, man. Right now, sitting at 23-5, and this is without Devin Booker in the lineup.
I just got to interrupt real quick. The last time when we talked about the Suns last week, we talked about JaVale McGee. He led the team in scoring, and I said that's not going to happen again. It happened last year. It did again. So I need to shut up when it comes to JaVale McGee.
After earning that money, he actually made a statement. I think because last year he was traded, but he didn't come here. He was traded to somebody else. He made a comment, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody out there, you can just call on Easy Sports Talk Hotline 602-260-1060. He made a comment that if he had been traded here, the Suns would have won the NBA title.
Okay.
Jamal,
talk. Take that bait out your voice.
But they continue to roll 8-2 in their last 10. 7 of them without Booker. He's been out for 7 straight games with that hamstring. Give you an update on that shortly. But on Monday, they lost to the Clippers, 111-95, but then they bounced back with a couple wins. On Tuesday, they go out to Portland and beat the Trailblazers 111-107. Come home against the Wizards. The Wizards are playing respectively over there in the East right now. They beat the Wizards 118-98. And like I said, right now sit at 23-5, tied with the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
For the best record in the game right now.
Martin's a fan.
And I guess the caveat of that is for Ty Williams, they're getting Klay Thompson back, man.
Yes.
That's going to be interesting to see how he fits in and how that elevates them.
They'll have a dip.
You think so?
Yeah.
Really?
The Warriors?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll go through a stretch where they're probably for them it might be going 7-3 or 6-4. The reason being they're trying to figure it out because they have their algorithm in place now.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're introducing another element, and that's a good element. Don't get me wrong, but now the algorithm has to figure out how we get back to performing, continue getting back to that optimal level of performance.
That's interesting. I thought I have a lot of respect. I think he's one of the smartest dudes in the game coaching. My thought is they bring him in and spoon feed him in instead of just dumping the whole, cup into the mix.
Yeah.
That would be my approach. I think with doing that, you're not breaking up your chemistry too much, and you're also letting him get his legs and win in it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll be interesting. This fight going all the way to I think the very end.
I hope so. Yeah, I think that makes it compelling.
What's interesting is last year we were surprised at what the Suns were doing, right?
Yeah, because it was the Suns and the Jazz.
Yeah, and we weren't believing. Well, I won't say we weren't believers, but we were kind of tentative on our belief.
Yeah.
All the way to almost to the very end, it was like at some point they're going to fall off. This year, starting out after that 1-3 starts, and now
because correct me if I'm wrong, because this time last season, DeAndre Ayton was just now coming back from that 25 game. Then he had a 25 game suspension, so there was a lot of reason to be a little bit hesitant on how is this going to work.
That might be because they started the season later. Remember, it was shortened season. They didn't start until close to 2 games. Yeah. So that 25 games, he was into January, February.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah, pretty sure
that's why the season extended all the way into June or July, whatever it was for the championship. So great point there. But so Suns, they've got the Hornets tomorrow coming in here. Then they got the Lakers on Tuesday, and we'll see how that all goes. Where are your Lakers at right now?
Man,
Give me a second here.
About 500.
Are they?
Yeah,
That's sad.
it is. It is sad.
We'll see. Like I said, right now, Booker has been doing some individual on-court work, running, dribbling, shooting, and moving a little more stuff from the injury. I think what I'm looking at, they're preaching patience stuff.
Yeah,
they're like, look,
especially since you're winning.
Yeah,
you winning, and you say, yeah, let's just keep doing what we're doing.
No, Russell, you don't want any reoccurrences. So with his injury, if he keeps just working, they'll get him back in there, and I think he'll be fine. But yeah, definitely don't want him coming back too soon. No need for it.
Yeah.
So let's jump into a couple other NBA stories real quick. We got some time left in this segment. The Nets are bringing back Kyrie Irving on a part-time basis. They bowed and broke to him at the beginning because New York has the ordinance where if you're not vaccinated, you can't go to our facilities. You can't practice. You can't do this.
They said we're not having no part. They said this is not Stevie Wonder.
They put the foot down too. They were like, "Well, how are you going to do what you gotta do?"
All right, you'll be calling, and then all of a sudden they call probably try to have. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna let you play part time. All right, so it's gonna be by our rules, part time. Okay.
Yeah. So first before he can return, he has to test every day. Let me see. He has to have 5 successful negative tests before he can rejoin the team. And then once he returns, he has to test every day because he's unvaccinated. Every single day he's not vaccinated. But man, it's almost like this is like a spoiled child that throws a tantrum. I know he didn't throw a tantrum, he just went away, right?
Yeah.
But it's like a spoiled child rolling on you know how we would do it. Our parents would do it, right?
Yeah.
Imagine rolling on the floor in the middle of an aisle in the store, right?
Yeah.
What happens? You get picked up by an arm and dangle it in the air and beat like a pinata, right?
Yeah.
But so basically he threw a tantrum, and I say he didn't throw a tantrum, but that's the equivalent of, and they basically were like, well, what do you want? What? You want Skittles? Okay, come on, let's go get some Skittles then. So he doesn't get exactly what he wants.
Or it's you walk into the showroom and you say, okay, so I'll take this for how much is it for? It's for $2,000. Okay, I'll take it for $1,000.
Yeah,
heck nah. Okay, and you just start to walk out. Whoa. Okay, hold on. I'll give it to you for $1,500. No, I said $1,000. Okay, I'll give it to you for $1,000. Acting as if they're the ones the organization has the right to change its mind. I get that, and they're trying to win a championship. But when you're that public and you're that resolute about how you're not going to acquiesce to the player,
they basically told him to kick rocks. Yeah,
do what you do.
Yeah,
go out and win.
Does it make the organization weak?
I think so. Yeah. I think so, because the next time it comes to time to negotiate with the player, they've already shown the precedent that they won't stick to what they said. And again, that's fine. You can make the changes. You can be flexible in terms of how you do that. But maybe next time, before you make that decree, you do a little bit more research, trying to make sure that you're making a decision that you can really stand by.
My brother MC said they're concerned about the Durant, man. This was I've been hearing about. He's even putting about 40, some of mid 40, high 40s.
Yeah,
and they need Kyrie to pick up some of the slack.
Yeah.
I'm curious to how it works, like because you can't play at home. Yeah. So you guys have like a 2-day road trip, right? You go out and you come back and I'll see y'all later. I'll see y'all next week.
I say to Kendrick, your brother is grounded because of XYZ. He goes, he talks to his brother, and he says, all right, man, I'm gonna go talk to Dad. Hey, Dad, can you just let him do this? Listen a little bit. No, son, I said no. Dad, can you just, all right, this time, because that's what Durant is going to say that, hey, I need help, man. I need help. And that's fine. The organization can do that, but just keep in mind that the next time that you have a situation where a player really digs his heels in, you have to be willing to be. Hopefully, they'll approach it from a different point next time, as opposed to being so.
Okay, we'll get to the mic right after when we come back from the break. I want to get him on real quick too. Zion Williamson. Out at least another 4 to 6 weeks, and I would beg to say that his season is going to. I see this all wrap. but he's out for another 4 to 6 weeks after receiving an injection on the injured right foot. Will only be taking part in low-impact partial weight-bearing activities for an extended period of time. Has played 85 of 174 games so far to this point, not counting what he's going to miss over the next 4 to 6 weeks, plus if he's just wrapping for the season.
Yeah.
It's looking bad, bro.
I mean, this season is just a wash. I mean, if it's not to the same extent, but think about when that season, when Jordan had that broken foot and they wanted to put him on the shelf.
But that was one season. This remember he missed a chunk last year. He's now to a point where, I mean, weight-wise, if you're looking at some of these pictures and stuff, even when he comes back, he's not going to be whatever he's supposed to be. But man, I'm starting to wonder about this.
Well, he can't really do much. I mean, he can try to get. He can get his arms looking tight because he can't put no weight on. He just be crumbling.
He went to the wrong school. That's the problem. He went to the wrong school. And we're going to take this break. Come back. My brother MC's going to join us on the line here. But hope you're having a great weekend so far. Appreciate you hanging out. Easy today on the Easy Sports Talk Show, KDUS, 1060 AM. KSLX HD Channel 2. We'll be back after this.
You can.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah. Thanks, man.
Because I wonder if they regretted it as soon as they said, "Nah, we ain't gonna do." Because I've done that when I've punished the boys before, and I said, "Man, I really shouldn't have said that." All right, you can go out and play. Do you want to go out and play or not? I said, I wonder if they felt bad after they did that. Just saying that no, I can have them play part-time.
Oh yeah, well, it's actually stupid.
It's like when you punish your kid. Like I've punished the boys before and said, "No, you can't go out for a week." I was thinking, it sounds stupid.
Yeah, I'm taking Queen's games away, and like, man, they'll give me that look like, and I'm like, all right,
yeah.
No mean no.
I said no. All right, this time, I'm telling you, next time.
So what we have coming up this segment was COVID. So we can talk to Mike on what he's talking about and talk about COVID. Mm-hmm. 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 This time of year, get ready for you, but everybody's clean up.
I need to be prospecting to try to find more people. I had to go buy a pressure washing gun.
Okay.
On Friday, yesterday. I went that one because I don't know if you ever seen people pressure washing, but some of them are just basic.
Mm-hmm.
And others have just
a nozzle thing. Yeah.
Mine broke on me.
Oh, yeah.
About a month ago. I just been delaying getting out there. So, but yeah, I got 3 jobs tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, there you go.
Yes,
Welcome
sir.
back to the Easy Sports Talk Show. Hope you're enjoying your weekend so far. This segment right here is brought to you by
True Narrative Media. True Narrative Media understands in today's world, the visual aspect of media is extremely effective in growing your brand and expanding your brand awareness. True Narrative Media specializes in telling your unique story, providing a wide range of video services for companies and businesses of all sizes. For more information, call 623-335-0735 or visit TrueNarrativeMedia.com.
And we're going to jump right out to the Easy Sports Talk line. One of my homies from way back in the day, one of the best brothers I know, Michael Carter. What's going on, man? Oh, hanging in there, man. How's how they treating you so far? I haven't seen you since, it's been actually a couple of weeks or so. Mike stopped up at the house a couple of weeks ago. I was gonna ask you, what do you think of the part-time player thing? We, as athletes, you and I, we know what it takes to get that 142 or in a NFL season 16 in, all the hard work. And you're gonna have a dude that's just gonna be popping in and out. How do you feel about that, MC?
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, I didn't even look at that. They're giving him his full salary?
Oh, yeah, man.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know if he'll be getting paid for the games in which he does.
Yeah.
I'm sure that he probably ain't gonna come back unless he's like, I'm trying to get this all my money. But yeah, you bring up a great point, man.
I'm right there with you, bro. Appreciate you calling, man, and look forward to seeing you soon. We're off the next couple weeks from this show, so let's figure out a way to try to get together, man. You got it. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you. And he brings up, I mean, it's a great point in the sense that it's not always. He's been in enough places. Every time somebody goes into a situation and it just falls apart.
Yeah.
It's not always their fault. if you're the common denominator of all these situations, maybe it's you.
I don't know. Maybe it's you. Should hit close to home with you. Okay. LeBron, everywhere he goes, he leaves the organization in a trail of, there's like a trail of fire behind him.
It's funny because, and I mention that all the time, and my sons jump on my head. They say, "You just got a championship, Dad. You got a championship." And you still talking about how you wish Brandon Ingram was around and Julius Randle was on the team. And I say, all right, but you don't understand. It's the principles involved. It's principalities. But when he leaves scorched earth. But when he's there, at least we got a championship.
Yeah, but you're right. With Kyrie, though, he is so disruptive. And I'm totally agreeing with MC. I would have nothing to do when this whole thing with vaccine, non-vaccine. I'd have been like, okay, bro, okay, we're done. Go ahead and do your thing. I would have found, I would have sent them to the abyss of the NBA. I'd been like, hey, Sacramento, you guys looking at the deal? Right. Orlando, hey, you guys got something you can give us? I mean, I just would have just bailed on myself too.
Yeah, and and I know this kind of dovetails into what we're talking about this segment anyway, but it's. I'm a dude. I took the I got the jab.
Yeah.
Right. So, but if somebody doesn't want to, okay, just navigate your life in such a way that you are responsible. That's cool. Do you? But you have a choice. Just do you, and just don't try to put me at in harm's way. That's all I ask. But if you're in an industry where there are different types of things because you're traveling from state to state, different city ordinances and stuff like that, then you have to really make a choice, and that can become that's when the rubber meets the road.
Let's speak on it, because that 1-9 is wreaking havoc right now, not just in sports, in our country and the world right now. There's this new Omicron and all this stuff cases going through and the other crazy part is a lot of people vaccinated still getting it.
Yeah.
But it is raging through sports right now.
And it's affecting. I know we're going to talk about the games that it's affecting, but we're setting up for the show. They're program directors having to move stuff around, program stuff because it's. I mean, and that's somebody saying, "Oh, big deal." Okay, but if you sell widgets and all of a sudden the main one of the main components for your widget is not there, then
everybody's scrambling.
Everything stops, right? So it's. What do you do, and how you try to pivot, and how quickly can you pivot using recent history to try to help you to make good decisions?
And this number went up. I got this report like Wednesday or so. Since the start of the week, nearly 100 NFL players and some of the staff had tested positive. So that number has gone up even more in some of these organizations, to the point that they had to actually postpone games. And this is something we thought we had seen the last of last year. We're like, well, we got into this year and everything seemed like it was going smooth, man. And my favorite analogy, that ugly girl or ugly guy. Yeah, you got to throw them both in there. I said, remember at the very beginning of the season, the very beginning of the season, I said, COVID is going to be like that ugly person that's been chasing you around the club all night long. You try to get away from him. Messed up because you came in, you bought him a drink, just be nice, Now all of a sudden you like her, right? Every time you turn around, because you scoping, you looking, right? Every time you turn around, hey, babe, what you doing? She want to, he or she wants to grab you and take you on the floor. Every time you turn around, just tap you on the shoulder, That's what COVID is doing. Yeah. And now, instead of tapping, it's just coming up and grabbing people's hand and dragging them on the floor.
Yeah, maybe this is just my cautious optimism, but we might have leagues that might we know that some of these games have been moved around in terms of in the NFL, postponing a couple of games, and so the Raiders, Browns, Washington football team, and the Eagles, Seahawks, and Rams kind of moving those games around. But I think that would be more what they'll try to shuffle the cards a little bit, move the chairs a bit, as opposed to shutting down, because I don't think the United States, and I'm not trying to get super macro on this, but they say, no, we're not shutting down. We're going to have to try to navigate this to try to keep this money flowing in your economy, money flowing in your leagues. And I think it's going to be full steam ahead if they have to go back to limiting the amount in terms of capacity. They try to get this TV money, man. Yeah,
they're going to keep rolling. I don't know how smart that is. And you mentioned the games. What they did, it was Raiders and Browns were supposed to play tonight. They had everybody from Mayfield to the head coach. They were devastated. They were losing both sides of the ball, so they moved that one from tonight to Monday. And your boy, the owner of your Raiders, he's kicked off.
Yeah, he's trying to sit your behind down. Don't you embarrass me in front of these folks. You better sit down.
So then they took Washington football game against the Eagles, which is tomorrow. They pushed that one out to Tuesday. And they took the Seahawks-Rams game, pushed that out to Tuesday as well. Yeah. The Rams, they came in here, played us on Monday, and there was even like they got home and they were like, yeah, he's got it. So they were out here,
Hey, I'm just saying it's crazy. It's just one of those things where it started to pop up, and not just in the NFL, but you mentioned in the NBA as well, in the NHL. I think I want to say they're in Europe. There's a couple of league or a team that decided to tap out until 2022. So it's the way in which as long as you have, hopefully they have some contingency plans that they thought about going into the season, as opposed to saying, nah, it's all good, we're not going to have no issues. But if indeed this happens, and maybe it's given that this time of the year when you have games that are on Saturday now, I heard this argument mentioned Saturdays and Sundays, because as we're getting closer to the playoffs, that's going to be the challenge. Maybe once we have the field pared down to just the playoff teams, maybe it'll make it easier to navigate, but they put those rules back in place in terms of the no contact, with having to do everything,
testing and different things. I think It's almost like, when you feel the first signs of a cold coming on, and you know it's coming, and you try to do everything you can to try to stop it. You drink some orange juice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take some of that Robitussin. I'm gonna take this, and you still get sick.
Or I remember my grandmother used to say this all the time. You just got over being sick. Don't go out there without no coat. And then I go outside without the coat, and then I get sick a few days later. She, I told you not to go outside without that cold back in your chest.
Let's do this. This is just a PSA. Everybody out there, just be a little more conscious about, if you have the vaccine, even there's nothing wrong with we're still wearing a mask and stuff like that.
Just
Don't bother
navigate.
fighting so much.
Navigate effectively. Navigate. Be smart about how you navigate.
Watch yourself. Don't come up to me and start trying to hug me or anything.
Watch yourself.
Hey, we're gonna take this break. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. Appreciate you hanging out. Easy and Jay on the Easy Sports Talk Show, KUS 1060 AM as well as KSLX HD channel 200.7. Hope you're out there getting that Christmas shopping in because you only got 6 days left. I got mine done. Give it to him, Jay.
Look it.
Thanks, Aaron. Whenever you're ready and want to go, let me know. 'Cause I got a free one set up.
Okay.
Just let me know if they can.
Might be this week. I
Okay.
don't know how I feel.
Oh, wow. Gotta let that one run for just a second here. See, Frogger. Yeah. I knew it was going to be a good music day, boy. Hey, welcome back to the Easy Sports Talk Show. Jay Easy getting it in. Last show of the 2021 year. We're going to be off the next couple of weeks. Christmas Day, New Year's Day. We'll be back on January 8th. Hope you don't miss us, but we're going to definitely enjoy ourselves.
I hope you miss us. You better shoot. I hope you miss us.
That's true. This segment right here is brought to you by
E3 Cryo. E3 Cryo and Wellness Center is a health optimization clinic specializing in cutting-edge therapies for pain and inflammation, performance and recovery, as well as anti-aging and aesthetics. Services include cryotherapy, weight loss, bioidentical hormones, and peptide therapy. For more information, visit e3cryo.com. That's E, the number 3, cryo.com. Call them at 602-899-2796 or stop by the Phoenix location at 13615 North 35th Avenue, Suite number 2.
So we got a couple of segments left here in the year. We made it all the way through 2021. Before we get started, we're kind of wrapping everything up. I want to add a question for Aaron because I was kind of curious. You know, we both of us, a little age challenge. I know how little I like to walk around and stuff like that. Aaron, it's the Christmas season. I'm not sure how many gifts and things you had to go out and purchase.
You didn't ask him if he celebrates or not, man.
I'm just assuming. Okay, I'm assuming you how to celebrate Christmas. Okay. So how do you do your shopping? You still like you got legs. Are you a mall dude or you going? Hey. Every Amazon, everything Amazon. How do you do it? Yeah. Okay. Who's first on the list? Like, who's first on your list to make sure you get taken care of? Oh, okay. I like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. See, Aaron is a mall dude. I stay away from malls like the plague is in there. I don't have that kind of energy.
I think I've negatively impacted my sons in that regard because from the time they were little, I would say anytime we had to go shopping, I don't care if it was grocery shopping or to go to the mall, get in, get out.
Get out.
And so that's why my wife hates taking them because they just, can we get in, get out? Can we go? Can we leave? And she wants to people watch.
That's another good question. Aaron, when you go in, what's your plan of attack? Do you go exactly where you need to go or do you window shop?
And then, as I'm walking by a store or something, maybe just go in. Like my girlfriend went to the mall the other day and do some Christmas shopping, and it started off at Bed Bath & Beyond. We knew we needed to get candles for somebody, and then after that, it was just kind of like
strolling.
My wife will walk in and let's say she wants to go and get, I don't know, a mug, and she'll say, "Oh, look." Because as you walk into stores and they have the different displays set up for people like my wife say, "Oh, look, it's this thing that I've never done. Let me get this, and let me get that, and let me get that." And I thought we came for the mug. Yeah, we're gonna get the mug.
I think the Amazon driver that comes to my house, I think he thought I was building a bomb or something. The amount of packages. I'm like, I see it, I'm like, nope. And the buy now button. Hey, and then how I get them too, bro. Because they bugged me all year about getting Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Here, free 30 days. December 1st came, I was like, give it to me. And then on the 31st, I'm out.
You sound like those people that get HBO just for the certain shows that they want to watch, and then after that free trial, whatever it is, they say, done. I'm done.
Oh, yeah. I thought all them people read or hijacking the red zone for a couple of days, like for a weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's all good. But, yeah, the year is coming to a close for us on this show, as well as the year in general. And I want to look back real quick, get your thoughts. I put a list of some of the top sports stories of 2021. And if you have it pulled up, Aaron, you can take a look as well and just give me your thoughts on any of those that list. I'll throw a couple of them out there. Obviously, Tom Brady winning his 7th Super Bowl with the Buccaneers after leaving New England. And look at that number 7. And I went to 1. I'm like, oh my God, the man we forget he went to 3 others.
Yeah,
he's been to 10 Super Bowls. Yeah. So it's like, oh my God. But that's one thing. Tiger Woods in the crash, baseball lockout. Anything? What jumped out at you? Either we'll go Aaron first. Anything jump out at you as far as sports story of the year? Yeah.
Especially for someone like Tom Brady, who, just had an amazing career with the Patriots and then went to another team in his first year, got to the Super Bowl. Like, it's amazing when you think about his career. As a Steelers fan, I have hated Tom Brady.
Right. So much respect for him as a player. Like, it's insane. Anybody watching on Facebook, I'm going to hold this up with 2 hands. That is 10 Super Bowls the man is going to, and he's won 7 of them. So, what about you, Jay?
Me, you know me, I'm a little bit different. So, looking at
and doesn't have to be on this list.
No. I think 2 of these are ones that jump out to me. The mental health, the heightened awareness of mental health, and it's interesting because I think you have some of those people that are stuck in their ways in terms of how they look at mental health. Like a Doug Gottlieb, maybe. How he feels that, well, I had to go through this pressure, so if I did it. But it's having an open enough mind to understand that people handle things differently. Just because it was done that way before or historically doesn't mean that that's the right way to go about it. So those conversations about mental health, I think that's a good thing. And I think that's.
And you're speaking specifically about Naomi Osaka and Simone Biles. Yeah.
I think that really stood out to me. And then the name, image, and likeness, because it gives athletes an opportunity to get this money, but it also shows how the universities are still saying, we don't want to compensate you, but y'all go out and get that money. And I think that's a deeper conversation to have. Yeah. And those are 2 things that stood out to me.
Since you guys talked, I'll talk on the Tiger Woods crash, and here's basically destroyed his legs with the crash.
Right.
And golf, as far as being competitive, winning majors and getting on tour, that's probably over. What I saw the other day, he was able to play around, might be even playing the whole weekend with his son, Charlie. To me, that's like that's a huge. I'm so happy he's able to do that. And I'm not the biggest Tiger fan in the world. Anybody who knows me will tell you that. But what he's been through, to be able to come back like full circle and maybe just get back on the links a little bit and do that with his son. I mean, I know how much I enjoy just playing video games with my son, hanging out, doing those type of things. That is so special. And it was kind of cool that he's actually back to that level. The one thing I tread lightly is like, don't try to take it too far. Like all of a sudden, he's feeling good enough to get out there with his little event. All of a sudden, he wants to get back on tour. And I don't know if that's the right thing to do.
I think he's mentioned that he's going to pull back. It sounds like he has realistic expectations about what he can and cannot do. But today you feel that you can't do it, and tomorrow you say, I'm gonna do it, and then you get out there like me trying to run these 7 miles.
You got 26 coming up next year, right?
No, 50. Signed up for a 50 mile.
50, okay, over in Philly, right? Okay, well, I told you I'll come up and I'll be there when you need a stop, and we'll go get a cheese steak. Indeed. So when we come back, we're gonna all wrap up because I want Aaron involved with this too. Just talk about what the holidays mean to us and what this year has been for us. Because it's been special, man. We've gone through a whole lot. We just celebrated our 3rd anniversary together. We made it through this COVID thing. The show is continuing on. We're bringing on some great partners. 2022, we've got a lot of things ahead of us. We'll be putting on the calendar along with Coke Coffee and some of our other partners. But like I said, we made it through it, bro.
Yes, sir.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
We come and sit and talk in front of a mic, every Saturday. A lot goes into this. You're leading us up to it,
Yep.
and then getting through it. Like I said, 2021 hasn't been the easiest of years, but like I said, here we are. So
Yeah,
we hope
man.
everybody out there is doing well. Also, one of the things is we appreciate you hanging out with us, and it's not always all about sports. We like to mix it up and talk about different things, and hopefully that is what people enjoy about this show. And then the other thing is so many great people listening and watching us on Facebook and stuff like that. I gotta give some shout outs to Beverly. Miss Beverly, love you. Hope you're doing well. Vicky had a birthday. Vicky, Fagiano, friend of mine from back in the day, from high school, known for 30 plus 40 years. She just had a birthday herself. We see Desmond Johnson listening, Lori B. So many people that we kind of hang out with us on the weekends, and that's really kind of cool. So,
Yes, sir. We appreciate it.
so we're gonna take this final break of the 2021 year. Appreciate you hanging out, Easy and Jay, Easy Sports Talk Show, along with Aaron behind the glass. We actually get to see him now instead of just hear his voice.
Aaron gonna put a shade down so
There
you
you
don't
go.
have to
Take
see
this break back after this message. Give it to him, Jay.
Okay.
Man. Mhm. And welcome back. Final segment of the 2021 year for Easy and Jay on the Easy Sports Talk Show.
Yes, sir.
Really appreciate all our listeners, all of our friends, everybody checking us out, whether you're driving, listening, on the computer, however you're doing it. Like I said, we don't take that lightly, and we thank you for the time. I hope you enjoy the show. Want to thank everybody too, as we got our list here, and as this list is you throwing your list as well. But and just to let you know, we got some big things here in happening in 2022. We've been inside for a while. We're going to be making some announcements. Where we're going to be. Where we're going to be.
Keep making good decisions so we can stay outside.
Exactly. Keep some of these places open for us. Yeah. So, but first, I want to thank Brother Hans Schatz and Colt Artisan Beverage Company, along with EIC. Colt Artisan Beverage Company is the official beverage company of the Easy Sports Talk Show. We got the coffees, we got the botanicals, we have everything. Mike Milano and his family, Milano Music. I've been after Mike, but I want to definitely get down so we can do one of our quotes at Milano Music coming up. So we're going to find out what they got going on. Coach D'Alicio and the Varsity Sports Show does an outstanding job leading to our show every week. He's the man as far as that level of sports and then beyond. I mean, he just does a great job. I want to thank Majestic Services, Casual Sports Network. I want to, send another special shout out to Brother Earl. We know he's going through some difficult times right now. Just our thoughts and prayers with him and Brother Sean. Or if you're out there listening, I hope you and the family are having a great holiday as well, man. Brother Mark Twain Beaver at True Narrative Media. Mark's going to come out with some of our upcoming events and everything. We've been kind of talking back and forth. Frank Sturpey and the Imagine Schools of Arizona Family. Miss Tina Smith with E3 Cryo and Wellness Center. Welcome to the family. We've been doing a few things as far as our event last month. Got some other things coming ahead, and I go in every week and get my cryo in. Yeah, we were just talking between the break. I got one waiting on you, Jay.
Yeah, man. Hey,
I want you to go feel it and experience it.
Man, I'm looking forward to it, especially if Mark Twain was talking about
rejuvenated. He was rejuvenated. He went in and he got rejuvenated again. So he was rejuvenated. And then want to thank Aaron. Aaron, you have no idea how much we appreciate you, man. All through the year. When we come into a studio to do a show, it's like somebody gave us the answers to the quiz because it's so easy because we're just sitting there. There's no setup. You're right across the glass. We can see you and all that kind of stuff. When we're doing remotes, it's so many different things that we're doing together, not seeing each other, and you make it so seamless, and we appreciate that so much. And then when we have those little glitches, it's like we get it taken care of so fast, and that's probably because of how great you are behind the glass, man. So I just want to let you know how much we appreciate you. And I know Kayla's in the building now. I'm not sure if she can hear us. I want to thank Kayla behind the scenes as far as running this station and dealing with us and helping us keep doing what we do. Kayla, we thank you so much. She is the bomb. I always say thank you for all you do. So I want to make sure we thank Kayla. Your list.
I'm a simple man, so just in terms of if you think about both of our families that deal with us, as we do, oftentimes there may be things that we don't get to participate in.
Oh yeah.
This is something that we don't have to do, that we love to do it. And so to my wife, to both of my sons, so Elijah and Kendrick, just appreciate them so much. And I think if as we're talking about, this season and the holiday season, what I've learned, especially over the course of this year, is just being more grateful, really showing appreciation and for the things that you have, and then keep moving towards the things.
There's no way we could do this, and Amanda and Quentin, they're the rock that helped me stay stable. So, especially going through all the things I'm going through physically and everything. Man, if I didn't have them keep supporting me, I don't know where I'd be. So
I've seen you being stubborn. I remember, especially after the first couple of weeks, and you were just so mad. I could see you were frustrated because you weren't able to do just trying to start the healing process.
Yeah.
Some people say, I got it. No, I got it. I'm going to move it. I'm going to do it.
I'm trying to get there, bro. If this was a race, if it was a marathon, I'm probably at mile 8 or 9. So,
get there.
But the problem, the good part is that in the beginning, I was at the starting line. So I'm at least making progress.
Yes, sir.
As we move into 2022, we're going to take this thing and keep doing it, get back out there and doing our remotes and all that kind of stuff. And maybe occasionally pop into the studio too, because these are fun. These are fun. So,
indeed.
So, how are you going to spend the holidays, man? What you got going? How are you going to take advantage of this 2 weeks we got off?
I guess I'll be
running.
Yeah, probably some extra running because I'm again for that 50 miler. I don't know. the goal is, of course, not only just to start, but to finish it, but to prepare for it. So, I'm on a 23-week plan. So this is week 4.
Okay.
That's so this will
How do you do that? You just increase each week?
Yeah, it's a little bit. So for example, this week today I'll be going and getting 7 miles in, and then last week Saturday I got 6. So during the week, I'm running every day of the week, and doing some strength training and stuff like that. Those little things that help to be able to help me to run longer and to maybe even run a little bit faster. So,
all right, let's talk a little food here.
yeah,
Aaron, family gets together for dinner on Christmas Day. What is the menu? Like, what is the has to be on the plate?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stuffing, mashed potatoes. I think that's all for I could just do that.
And the good thing about this Christmas too is normally, depending on what day it falls on, we actually going to have the 13 stays where we hope it does. We're gonna, just like Thanksgiving, we're going to have football on Christmas. It's going to be kind of cool. And Cardinals football at that.
Yes, sir.
So everybody remember, while you're sitting around, don't forget to put the television on. So how about you, Jay? What's your way to fight?
About 5 years ago, Nika started to do something a little bit different. So she would make chicken and waffles kind of for breakfast. So we'd have that really just to be able to nibble on all day. And then some of the, that's what I
time
like.
Man,
should I let you know? You come through because as you get up there, make them chicken and waffles, get some. Yeah, man, it's delicious.
And then dinner wise, how do you get down?
It depends because that'll kind of takes us through the day. So there's been times when my hard-headed mom would be here for Christmas, and so she makes these wonderful egg rolls so they're ground beef with 3 different types of cheeses in them.
Okay.
So it's not like the bean sprouts and stuff like that. No, it's black folk egg roll. so again, ground beef. Nika knows how to make it, so she so when she'll make that stuff and I'll eat them all them things, man. Next time Nika makes me a couple.
Hey, you better. Okay. So for me, I did the smoked turkey on the Traeger for Thanksgiving, and my mom was so impressed. And I always wonder why she always so impressed that I can cook. I've been doing this my entire life. Right? Yeah. And I'll make something. She's like, "Oh, that's good. I didn't know you can do that." I'm like, So I did a smoked turkey on Thanksgiving. And then, we decided, I was like, we went over to her house. So I smoked it, took it over to her house. So invited her and my brother up at the house for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And at first she was like, "So what we going to have?" And I was like, "I can do another turkey." She lit up like a candle. So I'm doing the smoked turkey. She's bringing up the ham and the mac and cheese. Okay. And nobody does mac and cheese like my mom.
Okay, I'm trying to test that out.
I'm just trying to tell you. Then I'm trying to figure out if I'm up to it, or if I'm not being lazy, I might do some greens in the pressure cooker. Yeah. And then my brother's on desserts. So we pretty much got this covered.
I'm coming with containers.
Man is gonna make you some deviled eggs in the morning too.
Kendrick does a good job of that too. He makes deviled eggs. I want to say from the time he was in sophomore in high school, he started to make deviled eggs for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, and he does a really good job.
Quentin did the Christmas cookies already, so I've been, the key to the Christmas cookies, microwave them for about 15 seconds. Because after a few days, they start to get, man, you put them things in the microwave for 15 seconds, it's like fresh out the oven. So yeah. So we've got a couple minutes left. Really just want to thank everybody for whoever we did miss, like all of our callers. Yeah. Brother Mike, yearly callers. We got Art, Dan, Howard, a whole list of people that call in and continue to support us. Anybody I'm thinking of?
No, and then sometimes we get Mr. Deep Voice.
Earl. The voice.
Yeah, I don't appreciate what's going on, fellas. Shut up, man. Yeah. Lift your voice up.
What we want to do in these last couple minutes, we want to wish everybody a safe and happy and blessed holiday. However you spend it, whatever you celebrate. Just hope you're, safe out there. And like I said, we will be back on January 8th to get this thing kicked back up for 2022? What you got?
I do want to say this, and this might be the focus with Jay kind of coming out in me.
Hit it.
But don't wait till the new year to start to change, right? So whether it's I want to drop a few pounds or I want to read more or whatever, plant that seed today. Just because you plant it today don't mean you're gonna start to see the fruits today. But to do that, start to make those those little micro changes, and you'll see that your life will change. And don't wait until the clock strikes midnight and all that type of stuff. And New Year, new me, new you now, new you now. Do that.
I saved the best for last, man. I wanted to thank you for being my brother.
Yeah, for sure,
I love
man.
you. I'm not saying that facetiously. I mean, I do love you and you're my brother. And this is a ride we've been on. We're going to keep rolling, okay?
Yes, sir.
And like I said, I want to thank everybody. Hope you have a great and Merry Christmas. And I can't wait. My favorite thing to do, Christmas Eve, A Christmas Story. I will watch that thing 100 times. I love A Christmas Story. I can't wait.
Oh, I forgot. I want to definitely say I love you to my mother-in-law, Denise Stokes. Definitely, she is like she's the matriarch of the family. So
all right. Easy Sports Talk, Jay and Easy. Aaron, wrapping it up for the year. We'll see you in 2022. Hope you have a fabulous holiday. Once again, appreciate you hanging out with us. So we get back, be easy out there. Give it to him, Jay, one more time.
Are you okay?
There you go. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Oh. I'm going to do it like who was the tight end that scored the other day?
Kelsey.
I'm on Mike. Yeah, 2022. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay.